Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, today I have a product by HEQ called the Swan K1 PRO. It is a drone and an RC plane stuck together. So if you love RC planes, you're kind of stuck to where you can fly them because you need a takeoff and landing point, a lot of room. If you love drones, you can fly them pretty much anywhere because they just go straight up and straight down. So this, you can fly anywhere because it's like a drone when you take off, and when you get up in the air, you can switch it into plane mode and it flies around like an RC plane. You can attach a GoPro to this and film. Yeah, right up to like a GoPro 9 if you want, and film if you want. There's also a built-in FPV camera in this baby, so I'm gonna take it out of this case that comes with the product and show you what's inside. Now, the Swan K1 does come in pieces, and this is a piece of it here, and I wanna show you this up close. So let me bring it closer. So on the very top of this product, you have a pitot tube, and you can see I've glued mine. It's just to make sure it doesn't come out. A pitot tube is for airspeed, so it will check the airspeed while it's flying, and if it finds it's gonna stall, it will just take care of itself so it doesn't fall out of the sky. Next thing is way down here. What is that? That's an FPV camera. So it's going to send back an FPV image of where it's flying. It has about a 5-kilometer range to send this back. So you'll get that back on the included remote. And this space up here is for you to put a GoPro of your choosing or any camera that you like that will fit in there, and just strap it in and you're all set to go. Next item I want to show you is the included remote controller that has a built-in display that you can view out in the bright sun because it's a super high resolution bright display on here. Let me bring it close. Here you can see our remote control, normal joysticks there. You have a few buttons up here. I've labeled them. That is the mode, so you can switch it from drone mode to RC airplane mode, and that is the return to home button, so it comes back and it lands right where it took off. On the side over here you have a switch to put it in, sort of like when you fly DJI drones. You want it in position mode so that it's using GPS. You can flick this, and I believe you can put it in manual mode and fly it without GPS. The antennas on this baby are real, and they will shoot an awfully long range. The screen is touch screen, and it is an Android operating system. It has a built-in battery that you recharge, and it will go for an awfully long time. I have charged this the first day of usage, and I've never had to charge it again. The battery lasts for a long time. There's a lot of buttons on here that are not used at the moment, like little dials and stuff. They're not really used right now, but probably in the future they might be. On the top of the unit right here, underneath the rubber, is your place to charge with USB-C, and the cool thing is right over here, it says insert a SIM card. A SIM card is what you put in your cell phone to get data. And when I turn this on, it actually tells me there's no SIM card or data. So I've never tried it with a cell phone card, so I'm not sure if it works, but it seems like it does. All right, the next thing I want to show you really quick is how to assemble this. It takes like seconds to put together if you want to do it fast, if you're not talking. So I'm going to assemble it and talk at the same time. You can see that on my pieces of this here, well, this here product, I have labeled them so that I am not sitting here fiddling around. Where does this go? What? Because you can put pieces mistakenly in the wrong spot and jam them in mistakenly and cause everything to go wrong. So I've designed it so that if I have it sitting like this, then I can look and say, hey, this is the right wing, so this must go here. That one's in, and this one says left wing, so I'm going to put that one in. You can see how easy I'm putting them together. Look at that, we're almost done. There we go, it stands up by itself. And then you get two other wings included right here, the wing tips. This one I wrote left on it, and they just snap into place. There we go, it's snapped in, held in place, and this one here says right. Once again, I've put those markings on it just so I can put it together, because when I talk, I often lose track of what I'm talking about. Here, I'll spin it around this way. Now, a few things you should know about this. This here product can fly out at a 40-kilometer range, but you cannot get all the video and everything back at 40 kilometers. You basically have to use a mapping type software that's available. I'll put below what it's called. And then you somehow get it on this here controller. This is Android, but I haven't tried to hook up to the Google Play Store or anything. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. Anyways, if you put the mapping software on here, you can get this to go out 40 kilometers. You just pick your points, your waypoints, your mission. It goes out because the battery that's included with this will let this baby fly for 60 minutes, 1 full hour on the battery of flying. Yeah, so you can have a lot of fun with this. I know I've flown this many times. Like, this is probably gonna be my 10th flight, and I've never run out of battery power. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'm like, okay, I gotta bring it home. This is long enough. But it's never low in battery power when I land it. Finally, you just put the props on the motors. They are the type that spin on. There's a little indentation in the motor, and you just match up the black with the indentation and the silver with the non-indentation. The temperature today is like 30 degrees Celsius. It is very hot out today, so whew. Speaking of the battery, here it is. It is square and thick and heavy, and if I read the front, it is 5,500 milliamp hours, and it does have an XT60 connector, so if you have XT60 connectors on batteries you already own, you could probably use them to fly in this plane. All right, the GoPro, I'm just gonna strap in the front right here. And then to put the battery in, just pull this top off. It's just held on by magnets. So that comes off. You can see your XT60 connector, just attach it. I will say, on a hot day like today, there's a VTX in here that sends out the video signal, and all drones, the VTX gets very hot. So if this overheats, it will shut itself off. So you have to fly before it shuts itself off on a hot day. Let's take the cover, put it back on, and the magnets should lock it into place. It should be secure. There we go, it's nice and secure. So this is gonna talk, so hang on, where's my camera? So this is gonna talk to the remote controller, and we'll get all set up. It'll be pretty simple. All right, so I'm just gonna check on my screen to make sure that the telemetry is coming back. And right now I don't see any telemetry, so that means this here drone is not talking with this here remote at the moment. So the way you fix that, because I've had to do this many times, is you power this off and you power that off and you let them start up again, and they will talk to each other. So I'm gonna do that now. Power you off and power you back on. Okay, second try. The HEQFly app is starting up. I see it. Yeah, now it says it's working. It says, hey, before you take off, check these things. This is good. One thing I want to tell you is that the very first time you get this here drone plane, do a compass calibration, because it's not set up for your area. You only have to do it once. I've done it once already. You have to spin it 3 times one direction, 3 times the same direction, but holding in a different orientation. And then the 3rd time, a different orientation, and again in the same direction. All right, so what I have to do now before you can take off is you have to calibrate the pitot tube so that it knows the wind speed is at 0. So I'm gonna hit this little icon that says calibrate. All right, hit the calibrate button. It says just put your finger over the top. What this is gonna do is it's gonna set the airspeed to 0. I look at my screen, it says in calibration. Pretty soon it's gonna say done, or it's gonna say calibrated, so I wait for that, complete it. Now it says the next thing you have to do is you have to please the drone by blowing into it. So here we go. And it says completed, so we're all good. Here, I'll just show you on the screen what it says. There we go, you kind of see it there. You see I held it and then I blew into it, and they both say completed, and that's what you want. Now you're ready to fly. So I'll show you this on the screen as well. I'll bring it close, hopefully you can see it. There's my map. You see that blue thing in the center? That is the drone. As long as you see a map of where you are and a blue thing for the drone, then your home point has been recorded. Also in the top right, I only have 9 satellites. That usually goes up to 14 or 15, so we'll wait till that goes up a little bit. And finally, let me get this again so you can see it. In the bottom here, let me see, down here is your FPV view. If I hit that, then that's an image of the drone looking up at the clouds. So I'm going to get out of that, go back to map. You can watch your flight on the map or put it in FPV view, your choice. All right, it's super hot out, so I got to fly it now. To fly it, just pull this left joystick down and over to the right like this. Motors will start. Let's look at the motors. There they are. And then push the joystick all the way up to go up in the air. There we go. Let's take it way up. There it is, way up there. So it will just keep going straight until I tell it to turn. There we go. I'm trying to hit full velocity while I'm going up, and I think we're hitting pretty much max airspeed now. I'm almost, I'm pretty far away. Pretty far away. I'm almost 1 kilometer away from myself. And so there we go. And then now what I'm gonna do is whip it around, and I'm gonna bring it back at full speed. Let's see. Coming back to me. Now, unfortunately, I found the heat outside to be too much, so I brought the Swan back and brought it down for a landing. Now, don't worry, because I have a lot more Swan video coming up, so stay tuned. Let me get this out of your way. There you go. All right, the next thing I want to show you is some flights. I've taken this out, flying it many times, different places in the evening, and let me just show you a little bit of video of those flights. Check it out. All right, I've got the K1 Pro over there. The wind has died down. I don't know if I could show it on this camera, so let me just look at here. I'm going to put the map on. There we go. So there's my map. You see all the squigglies? So on my map, you see this big red circle? That is the geofence I set. So I want it to stay within that. So if the drone ever lost control or went out of control, it can't go beyond that geofence, the red circle. All right, everything looks good. Let's start up the motors. There we go. And I'm going to take it straight up. I'm just going to stand over here. All right. So in this mode, it uses a lot of battery power, but it's hovering there, so I can do little things like yaw it. There we go. Pretty sweet. And you can go side to side that way and back towards me. Try not to chop yourself. And then of course you can move it backwards and you can move it forwards. It's a pretty decent thing. And of course you can take it up full blast. There we are. And you can switch it into airplane mode like this. Here we go. I'm going to press the A button. Here we go. And there we go. Airplane mode. Look at it go. Whoa, that's fast. So I'm going to put on the video feed here so I can see where it's going. Look at that. You can see it in my camera, my GoPro camera on my hat. Do you see it? There's a video feed here. I don't know if the sun is reflecting, getting it. So it's gone out of my sight. I've got to turn it around and bring it back. There we go. Come back to the school. You see the school out there. Well, I see the school. Hopefully the GoPro hasn't fallen out. Oh, I see it on the map. I can see my path. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to see if I can bring it down lower so that we can buzz me and everything else. Let's come like this. There's the field. I'm looking at the height, altitude. I'm coming down slowly. It does not drop fast. I just want to stay away from the sports fields. So I'm going to go to this set of trees. I've got it down to 38 meters and I'm going to spin it. And there we go. Now, looking at me, here it is. I've got it coming down again. See it going over past the moon, and there she goes. That is so cool. And this thing flies for like an hour on the battery. You get pretty tired of buzzing it around. All right, there's a farmhouse over there. I'm just gonna gun it to the farmhouse. I go way up in the air. Let me tell you what the height is. I'm gonna take it up to 100 meters. There we are at 100 meters, and we are going forward at whatever the speed is showing. So I'm heading towards that farmhouse, and I think I'm going to hit the end of my geofence. Yes, on my map, I'm going to hit it any second. I hit it. There we go. It looks like there we go. So it goes, you hit the geofence, so it says I'm going to return to home, and it is on the map. It's turning, and it's coming back. It's pretty cool. I wish I could show you this. It's just so cool the way it looks on the map. I don't know if you could see this. I'm just trying to show you what it looks like on the map. The blue thing in the center is the Pro, the K1 Pro coming back. And, well, it's pretty much over me, I think. It shows it over top. So if I look up, it should be on top of me. Where are you? I hear you. Oh, you're way up there. And she's coming down. Here she comes. I have a GoPro looking up at it. Coming down, coming down. And there we go. Motors are going to shut off. And that's it. All right, next thing I want to show you is what comes in the box. That huge, where's that box? I threw it over there. So you get it in a nice packaging box, and it has everything you saw me assemble here, plus a few other items. So let me show you what comes in the box. Check this out. Here we have the carrying case that the Swan K1 Pro comes in. Everything is nicely packed, and it is very easy to transport your Swan around in this case. This latest version of the Swan K1 Pro comes with a controller that has a built-in high-resolution touchscreen display. It is an Android device, so you could probably load other apps. The app for the K1 Pro is already pre-installed. The controller is rechargeable, and the battery lasts for a very long time on a full charge. Here we have the main section of the Swan, and in the front is a weight. So you would take that weight out and replace it with an action camera. All of the wings have a circuitry for connection, which makes them really easy to go together. Notice the brushless motors. They kind of remind me of the motors off the DJI Phantom 3. Even the props remind me of the old school DJI screw-on props. The included battery will get you 60 minutes of flight time as long as you're flying in airplane mode. To charge that large battery, a power adapter is included, and I will say it does charge up quite quickly. And a USB-C cable is included to charge up your controller. Finally, a set of instructions are included. Now, it is possible to fly the Swan K1 PRO using the DJI FPV system. They have a video on the website. I'm showing it right here. It shows you how to install the DJI FPV system or the CATX Vista system, and then use your DJI FPV goggles and fly it. All right, final thoughts on the Swan K1 PRO. Now, I've had this for about a week and a half, and I've flown it for about 10 times, and every time I've flown it, it's awesome. The only times I had issues was right when I first started flying it, because there's a glitch in this controller that is not documented. So let me tell you about it now so you don't have the same problem I have. If you fly it for the very first time and you hit the return to home button, as I did here, and it lands, if you try to take off again, it won't take off. If you turn everything off and then power it on and try to take off again, it won't take off because it thinks it's still in return to home. You have to hit the button one more time. Yep, I didn't know that. It doesn't tell you on the screen. But as soon as you do that, then everything's A-okay. Other than that, I don't have any complaints with it. It seems to work perfect. Like I said, 10 flights and everything's been A-okay, excellent flying, and it's a joy to fly, and everybody who sees it just loves this thing. They think it looks the coolest.
It's a Mavic with wings.
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much a DJI drone with wings. You're right. Yeah. You take it long range, you go film something, and you bring it on back.
It made it landing. It was on sort of an angle.
Yeah, it's designed for beginners. Like, there's no skills necessary. It's GPS enabled, so it takes off and it just waits for you to tell it to do something. All right, so links are below. Go check it out. See if this is a product for you. It's very different. There's a lot of cheap products on the market that are not this. This is the best of the best of the best. So this is the one you want. And the foam on here, this is not cheap foam. I had the guys look at it who fly RC planes, and they were super impressed with this foam. They said this is higher quality than the foam they get on their airplanes. It is massively compressed, so it's super, super strong and very light. So this thing does not weigh a lot altogether with everything attached. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And many more reviews are coming up in the future. Till then, bye.